Hello, welcome in. I'm Tammy Masterbirdie, best-selling author of the book The Universe is Talking to You. Tap into signs and synchronicity to reveal magical moments every day. And I am here for my weekly spirit boost, where I come on here, I share stories from my personal life. I share stories from clients and different things to sort of boost your spirit on a weekly basis, keep you connected, keep you elevated. And so last week I was on here, and if you didn't see it, you can check the replay is on YouTube under Barnfire. It's also on my Instagram, and it's also in my Facebook page. If you just scroll down, you will find it. But I was in here talking about the fire that we had in our barn, which was on 4th of July. And after I came on and talked to you guys, I got a lot of questions about what I was talking about when I said, you know, after the barn fire and the trauma of it and the jolt of it, I worked to clear my own energy. I worked to clear my husband's energy. And everybody was like, what do you mean? What are you doing? You know, how did you do that? And so I thought, okay, let me come on and answer some of that for you guys this week. And interestingly enough, I have another story, because if you remember, as part of the barn debacle, we have 2 barn cats that were up on in the top of the barn at the time. And thank God they were okay, you know, knock on wood. They were okay, and they made it through, and they're fine. However, one of the barn cats, who's sort of, her name is Citrine, she is sort of, tends to be on the nervous side on a good day, right? Like there's days where she's just, oh my God, she lets me love on her and she comes running up to me. And then there are days where she's totally weird and nobody knows why. And she's very easily jolted if you walk past her or anything like that. So obviously this whole situation with the fire, you know, threw her into a loop of just stress and nervousness. And so the day after the fire, my husband found her in the downstairs of the barn hiding under something. He had like lifted up a tarp that was there to see, because it had melted a little bit, and she was hiding under it. She ran out of the barn, and then we didn't see her for like a day, maybe a day and a half. And I was like, oh my gosh, this cat is scared. This cat is scared. So eventually I said, she likes me better. No offense to my husband. But let me go out and feed her and call her, because when I go out, I just yell, babies, babies, and all the goats and everybody know I'm coming. So I said, she's used to me. She knows me. Let me see if I can get her to come out. And so eventually, I guess maybe a day later, I saw her, but she wouldn't come too close to me. She was not going back in the barn. She would not go back in the barn. So I was having to leave food for her outside of the back of the barn, because I was scared. Oh my gosh, what if she won't eat? And so we have like different, like we have a pickup truck in the back of the barn and like a tractor that doesn't work or whatever. And I found that she was hiding under these things. And I was like, man, I'm like, she's really traumatized from this whole thing. And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know, I cleared myself and I cleared my husband. Why don't I try clearing the cat? Because our cats, our dogs, our animals get traumatized, go through things. Their nervous systems are affected in the same way that ours are. And you can clear the energy from your pets. So I thought, why did I not think of this before? So I did some clearing on her. Within 24 hours, she started moving closer to the barn and letting me see her. Within 48 hours, she was back to normal and I could pet her. And by the 3rd day, I actually caught her in the downstairs of the barn with the other cat, and she ran out. Now, she's not back to normal, but we're getting there. And I know it's because of this clearing that I did. And so I just want to, hi, Susan. Hi, Patty. Or I'm sorry, PETA, I can't see. So here's the deal. I learned years ago, and I'm not talking about just Reiki. I am a Reiki master. I do Reiki. And believe me when I tell you, I send her Reiki like every day. to just chill her out. But years ago, I learned how to do different types of energy clearing methods like EFT. And I stumbled upon who's now a friend of mine, Amy B. Scher, and she teaches different ways to test, to muscle test what needs to be cleared and then the best way to clear it. And so she teaches muscle testing. So you might have heard of muscle testing. I've talked about muscle testing. There's a standing method you could do. There is, you know, you might have heard like you put your arm out and somebody tries to put it down and you can test different things. But for me, muscle testing, like self-muscle testing, has always been just a challenge. It never came easily to me. So I use my pendulum for it. And so once you learn to use a pendulum and get your yes or no, it's very easy to do her work and figure out different things. So I have my my pendulum here. This is the elevated existence pendulum. There's still free pendulums available. I'm teaching the class. I only teach it once a year how to use a pendulum the way that I use it. And that class is happening on the 28th of this month. Link is in my bio on Instagram, underneath the video on YouTube, and then in this you know, with this video on Facebook. And we sold out of the first 50 pendulums. They were gone because when you sign up for the class you get a free pendulum. So I put another batch up, but then that's it, and there are pendulums left from that batch. I just put it up last night. So anyway, I teach how to get your yes or no with a pendulum, and then I also teach you how to test food products, how to test and clear your chakras, how to find your own limiting beliefs. And that's the thing about the energy clearing, is I use the pendulum to say, is there energy that needs to be cleared around this, yes or no? Okay, are there, and the way that I learned to do it, again, is Amy B. Scher has a book, oh, I have her book here, How to Heal Yourself When No One Else Can. So if you don't know the book, you can get that on Amazon. And so, again, she teaches muscle testing. I do everything with a pendulum. So anywhere where she says muscle test, I use a pendulum. And so the things that I check for are there unprocessed emotions from the experience, right? From the barn experience, from the fire. Is there an unprocessed experience connected to it that's been kicked up? Are there any beliefs that have been kicked up? So what I did for us with and then when I get a yes or no, then I probe more, right? So in her book, she actually has lists of emotions you can test, and she teaches different ways to clear. So she has a thymus tap way of clearing. She has chakra tapping. There's a lot of different ways to move energy out of the body. So what I did with the barn for myself and my husband and the cat was I got the pendulum out and I said, you know, is there clearing, you know, is there energy clearing that I can do so let's say start with myself. Is there clearing that I can do for myself connected to the barn fire that we had? And if I got a yes, then I say, are there unprocessed emotions connected to that fire? And I would get a yes, and then I would clear those specific emotions using this thymus tapping technique. Doesn't take long, it's very simple, but it clears the emotions out. So what I did, and I did the same thing for my husband, are there emotions connected to the barn fire? Then I went to the nervous system, because when we go through something that is startling, traumatic, creates a lot of fear, your nervous system is activated, right? Your fight, flight, or freeze response is activated. So I checked, are there unprocessed emotions, you know, triggering my nervous system connected to this fire? I got a yes, I cleared those emotions. I did the same thing for my husband. I did the same thing for my cat. So what I did was, is there clearing that I can do? Again, using the pendulum, getting my yes or no. And again, if you want to, I only teach the class once a year, and you'll learn this and so much more. So what I did was, okay, are there unprocessed emotions connected, forced latrine that I can clear? Yes. Okay, great. Are they connected to the barn fire in general, the experience? Yes. Okay, so then I would clear those emotions. Then I would go back and go, are there more emotions? Yes. Okay, are there emotions specifically connected to the barn? Because she is not going back in that barn. And I got a yes. And so then I cleared those emotions. Then I said, is there anything else connected to the barn? No. Okay. Can I also clear her nervous system? Because I'll tell you, when I went out to feed her at one point, before I did the clearing, and I had to feed her like far away on the other side of the barn. Like, she would not go near it. She would not cross like a certain line. And I was trying to put food down for her, and the other cat, Rusty, came running and tripped me when I was trying to put the food down for her. So now she got spooked again because now I tripped, and she was like, and I saw her run, and she was visibly shaking, and I was like, no, 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 she is shot. This cat like needs help. So I checked her nervous system, and I got a yes. And so I cleared emotions triggering her nervous system, you know, connected to the whole fire, etc., etc. And so anytime anything happens to me, anytime I have a physical symptom, anytime there's anything emotionally taxing, I go to the energy work and I do it. And this is what I do for one-on-one clients as well that come to me, you know, in an area that they find themselves stuck. I use my intuition and I use my little pendulum, and I test for, I use my intuition to pull things out for them, and then I test for them, and then I tell them, here's what you need to clear, here's how you need to clear it, because I literally live my life this way, day by day. This is what I do. I look for these things, and I clear them, and I see a difference. And the biggest difference, sometimes it's harder for humans to let go of things, right? Although the energy clearing, it always helps. Animals are very open to letting go of stuff, right? So for them, they're even more open and receptive to energy than we might be. And literally within 24 hours of doing clearing on this cat, I saw all of a sudden she was on the other side. She was closer to the barn. She was letting me see her. She was not running away as quickly. The next day I was able to pet her. The next day I actually saw her coming from the barn area where I'm pretty sure she was in the barn with the other cat. And so that's proof right there of this cat who was frozen, who was scared to death. And then I did some of this work for her. And the thing is, you can clear on behalf of someone else, and you can test with the pendulum on someone else. So in the Unlock the Secrets to the Pendulum class that is coming up at the end of the month, I teach you how to find your own blocks, find your own beliefs, find the best ways to clear them, find, testing your own chakras or testing someone else's chakras, and then how to clear them, and then use the pendulum to make sure that they're cleared. And also we'll test food and drink products to see if they have an allergen. I teach you how to test supplements to get the exact dose. But the cool thing is you can do all of it for someone else. So once you learn to test for yourself, which is usually the hardest, right, is why I think self-muscle testing sometimes is hard for people. Once you learn to test for yourself, you can then learn to test for your friends, your family, and your pets. And in many, many instances, if you're doing clearing, and I always test, can I clear this for XYZ? You can clear yourself sort of as a proxy for that person. So that's what I did with the cat. I didn't go out and like tap on the cat. I know there's people that do that and teach that you can actually do EFT and tap on cats and dogs and stuff like that, and I think that's great. But if I can do it on myself, it's a lot easier, and so if I get a yes that I can do it on myself, I will do it on myself. So that's sort of what I did, and I noticed a huge difference with myself, a huge difference with my husband, and the cat was so stark of a difference after I did that clearing on her. That I thought, oh my gosh, I just wanted to come on here and share the cat story with you. But then so many people were asking, because I just came on and, I always share what I'm doing. So I came on and talked about the fire and then said, oh, I've already done energy clearing on myself and my husband. At that point, I hadn't thought of doing the cat yet. And so many were like, what do you mean? Like, what did you do? So all of the majority of the energy clearing and the work and the testing that I do, I'm always using my pendulum. And I'm always, working through usually one or more of Amy's techniques. And if you have the book and then you know how to use the pendulum, it's super, super easy to learn to do. Now, I've been doing it for years. I've been doing it for myself probably for maybe 8 years, maybe more. And then I started doing it with other people. A couple of years ago, I started doing one-on-one sessions with people to help them uncover their own blocks and things like that. And so now I do it for other people as well. And so it's become second nature to me. And the more that you do it, the more it will become easy. But it changes so much because you can clear those emotions before they start making you sick, before you have anxiety that you can't get out of, you know, before you have other types of emotional issues, or the thing is, those unprocessed emotions, they'll go into the body, they'll go somewhere into the body and start causing dis-ease, and then all of a sudden now you have pains that you didn't have before, or your nervous system activates your joints and now you have aches and pains and you don't know why, and it's because your nervous system is on fire from everything going on, right? So that's really how I work it, and that's really how I do it. And oh, hi, Kathy. Can you clear others without being a Reiki master? Yes. Everything that I'm talking about has nothing to do with Reiki. Yeah. Reiki is a whole separate thing. But 100%, when you learn how to do these different clearing techniques, and again, I am going to share things during that pendulum class, because once you have, really, if you have Amy's book or you take her online course, and then you know how to test, and again, to me, the pendulum is the easiest thing. You can do it for yourself. You can do it for other people. You don't have to have like a certification or be a Reiki master or anything like that. You literally learn it for yourself, and then once you master it for yourself, it's super easy to test for other people. And the pendulum you can do right away. Like by the end of the class that I teach, and it's a 90-minute class, people are getting their yes and no's, and then usually what happens is they start running around the house and they start testing different products, or they start testing their chakras, or they want to test their loved one's chakras. And so once you get that yes or no, it becomes so much easier to make better decisions for yourself. I even teach you how to blind test with the pendulum, because what happens is a lot of the time, if we're emotionally invested in something, if we are emotionally connected to something, maybe we want an answer, it's harder to test whether you're doing muscle testing or pendulum testing, because your emotions get involved. So I actually teach a way to blind test using the pendulum so that your emotions don't get involved. And then I teach you how to clear yourself before you do it, and all that stuff to make sure you get the right answers. Yes, thank you, Kathy. Yeah, everybody's doing good, thank God. Yeah, she is coming around again, and the thing, it's just, you know, animals, man, they're very susceptible, but the cool thing is they're very easy to help and clear if you know how to do it. And so between the Reiki that I sent her, which was a separate thing, and doing the actual energy clearing on her, I noticed a big difference. I really want to try and get, with this weekly spirit boost, I think I'm going to start having guests on once in a while. And I have to have Amy on, because I talk about her work so much, and she talks about my work, and many of you know her. And I have to have her on so we can talk to you guys a little bit about energy clearing, because both of us we use it in our everyday lives. And again, to me, my pendulum is my best friend in the whole entire world. So, I'm just checking. Susan, did your mom send you any signs that she was there with you during the fire? Oh God, I feel like I'm trying to remember now, because I feel like there was something and I was like, oh my gosh, that was my mom. And I can't remember, but I know afterwards I literally said, like, because now here's the other thing. You know me and calling in higher help, right? I'm always about calling in higher help whenever you have a problem. During that barn fire, I literally sat outside watching it, and I called my mother. I called Archangel Ariel, who works with nature and animals. I called St. Francis of Assisi in the Catholic faith that I grew up in, who was the patron saint of animals. And I said, please protect these animals. Please keep them safe. Please let them be okay. I mean, I literally called them in during the fire. And I know they were there. And I know they helped. And it was amazing, the fact that there was that much smoke. I mean, when my husband went upstairs to open up the one door up there that wasn't open to try and air it out, he couldn't see his hand in front of his face. That's how much smoke there was up there. And these cats are okay. And it was incredible. So I called in that help right in the moment. And that's what I teach people to do, is like, just, even if you don't know, I happen to know, right? Because I've been doing this for so long, I know a lot of the times who specializes in what. Sometimes I don't know it off the top of my head. Sometimes I do. If you don't, it doesn't matter. You just say, whoever works with animals and safety and whatever, can you please go now and help these animals? That's all you have to do, and they know who they are, right? But to me, I love knowing who I'm talking to, and that's a lot of what I teach people is sort of learning who helps with what, and calling them in. But if you don't, you just call in the collective. So I know that my mother was there because I asked her to be there. I called her in. I said, please, Mom, go, you know, shield these cats, do whatever you can. You know, these cats are so, you know, my animals are so important to me. As I think everybody feels that way, even if they are, you know, they're barn animals that we feed, you know, in terms of the cats. The goats, obviously, we got. So, yes. And I have to think, I could have sworn there was something else that I said to my husband, and now I can't think right now if there was something else. If I think of it, I'll let you know. But anyway, I called her in, so I know she was there, and I know she was, you know, helping that situation, along with Archangel Ariel and Saint Francis of Assisi. So anyway, and I think I probably called in Archangel Michael, now that I'm thinking about it too, because he's protection. And so I think I had asked for the protection also during the screaming and the yelling and the, oh my gosh, the cats are upstairs. So, so anyway, I just wanted to come on here and, yes, they're with us all the time, Susan. Oh, so let me see. Kunat says, I've used the pendulum in the past, and sometimes the answer I received and followed led to the wrong decision. What do you suggest in that situation? The only thing I can tell you is, well, first of all, everything happens for a reason. So if you were led there, you were led there for a reason. And you might have thought it was the wrong decision, but something, I promise you, if you think about it, something probably came out of it. But the other thing is, when you're asking for yourself with a pendulum, and I'm teaching this in the class, when you're asking for yourself with the pendulum, and you are emotionally involved in the situation, you kind of would like one answer versus the other one, right? You really want a yes. Sometimes your energy can mess that up, and that's why I teach people the blind test. And there's a certain way to blind test, which I've used blind testing for work situations. I've used blind testing for personal situations. I use blind testing for which person to hire for something, for my website, like, because again, we get emotionally involved, and so you have to either ask someone else to test for you, which I've done too, and I test for my friends and they test for me, or you do the blind testing method, which I teach in the class. And again, the link to that class is in this, in my bio and Instagram, in this Facebook post, and underneath the post in YouTube, because the class is happening on the 28th, and I still have some free Elevated Existence Amethyst pendulums. I call them Elevated Existence because I literally buy these amethyst pendulums, and then what I do is I sit in my my family room. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to hold it in a dark spot, but anyway, there's this little there's like a quartz crystal here, and then I add these little Om charms to them. So everybody gets this very you know, they're not every gemstone is exactly the same, but the first 50 are gone. I added 50 more. And then these get shipped out to you for free when you purchase it, as long as they're still available. Once they're gone, they're gone. But that's what I would say in terms of the pendulum, is sometimes it's very, very hard to ask for yourself, because we get emotionally involved in stuff, you know? And there's certain things I just would say don't even ask. Like I always say, people don't ask, is my husband cheating on me? Do you know how emotionally invested you are? You can't ask a question like that. You know what I mean? Because that's going to be difficult. But again, even me, if I'm trying to make a decision with my business, I'm emotionally invested in it, and sometimes it's hard. So I do the blind testing. So hopefully that that helps you. And that's probably why you know, sometimes it's harder to get the right answer. So anyway, so that is the story. I love my pendulums. I use it. I literally use this guy every day, and I definitely use it when it comes to the energy clearing. I'm actually experimenting now with some ways to do clearing using just a pendulum, like allowing the pendulum to do clearing. And once I sort of come up with some of my own techniques around that, I'll probably teach that, you know, maybe in an advanced pendulum class or something like that. I've never taught that before. But right now, what I teach is everything that I explained here, which is, you know, using this as a muscle testing method. The cool thing about the pendulum is it literally helps you tap into your subconscious mind, right? So the subconscious mind knows everything. The subconscious mind is your soul. It's connected to you. It knows what you're thinking. It knows the beliefs that are blocking you. You don't know because it's not in your conscious mind. It knows, you know, again, with the energy clearing, it knows the emotions that are stuck in your body that need to be processed out. It knows the unprocessed experience from when you were 12 years old that is still operating on your nervous system and still messing you up today. Your subconscious mind knows it all. And what I love about this little guy is it allows you to tap into it. It's like a direct line, not only to your subconscious mind, but to the divine mind. It's all connected. So that's why I love it, and I use it every day, and I use it for everything, to make decisions, to do the energy clearing I just talked about, to test my food, to test my supplements. I just bought, I'll give you an example, I just bought a B vitamin. So I went to the doctor, I had my blood work done, and my folic acid was low, and I think it's because I'm gluten free and I don't really eat bread. And so I had to go on a B complex. So I tested before I bought it. Is this B complex going to be the most beneficial for my body? Yes. Okay, great. I bought it. I got the B complex, and I teach you how to do this. I got it, and I tested to find out what the best dose is. So it's funny because on the actual bottle it says take one a day. So you would think, okay, I should take one a day. But they want you to buy more vitamins, you guys. So it's not, the dosage that they say on the bottle is not always the best dosage for you. Also, I tend to be extremely sensitive. So if something says take 2, sometimes I should only take 1. Well, what happened is I tested the B vitamins, and it turned out I only needed to take 1 every other day. And so that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to get retested, and we'll see. So I literally use my pendulum all the time. I've taught my husband how to use it. I've taught my niece, who is in high school, how to use it. It just becomes your best friend. It's my favorite spiritual tool out of all the spiritual tools, and I use and love many spiritual tools. But again, I use it for the energy clearing, for the muscle testing, in lieu of muscle testing. And once you get your yes or, here's the cool thing, once you get your yes or no down, you can use it for a quadrillion different things, because you just need to get that yes or no down, and it does not take that long to get the yes or no down. And also, by the way, you can take the class without a pendulum, because you can use any necklace with a pendant on it, and you can even use a wet tea bag to get started, to start practicing. So anyway, I love my pendulum. But I wanted to just come on here and share with you again a little bit about that energy clearing, and I'm going to try and have Amy on here. I'm going to start doing some more guests on here, and I want to start streaming directly to YouTube, because I know there's a lot of people who are like, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram, and then I can't watch you live. So we're working on it, so that I can start doing these on a weekly basis and bringing some fun guests in, and you guys can ask questions, and I think it'll be exciting, because I have so many amazing friends in this spiritual world that I would love to share with all of you. So stay tuned for that. And again, the pendulum class is happening next, it's not next week, it's the 28th of June. But there are still free pendulums available. Once they're gone, again, you can go on Amazon or Etsy and get your pendulums, or you can use a wet tea bag or a pendant with a necklace. I've done that in a pinch. So if you want to join me, it's going to be a lot of fun. Check out the link for that, and get one of the free pretty pendulums. I'm actually leaving right now. When I'm heading off of here, I have a stack of like 60 pendulums that are being shipped out. I labeled them all last night, and I'm heading to the post office to ship them out. So if you got a notice that you got the free pendulum, I'm shipping them out today. And for those of you, as they come in, as the orders come in, I'm just going to go to the post office every day and ship them till they're gone. So have an amazing and wonderful day. Again, I hope that this helped you to understand, what I'm doing for the energy clearing, what is possible for you. If you look up my friend Amy B. Sher, you'll understand a lot about the techniques that she uses. She has so many things free on YouTube. And if you know how to muscle test, great. If you don't, the pendulum is my best friend, and I know it will be your best friend as well. And so if you want to take that class with me, I only teach it once a year. And share this video with anyone who maybe has a pet who's suffering from something, because everything that I taught here can be done for pets, as I did for mine. Be sure to, if you're watching this on YouTube or anything, subscribe, share, and get this out there so more people can have their weekly spirit boost. And I thank you for being here. I will be back again next week. And then I'll see when I can start bringing in some guests. I think that will be fun for all of you. Not every week, but sort of once in a while to mix it up a little bit. I'm excited. So have an amazing weekend. And I will see you all soon. Hopefully I will see you in my pendulum class. It is literally my favorite class to teach. I cannot wait. I look forward to it every year. It says 90 minutes, but I always go over because I take a million trillion questions at the end. So thank you all for being here. Sending you all love. Have an amazing and beautiful weekend. And find something this weekend to bring yourself some joy, boost your energy. And I will see you back here next week. Bye, everyone.